Hi, my name is Crystal Dunn and I'm an independent consultant with Tupperware. Today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite and one of the most iconic Tupperware pieces of all time, the Tupperware Shape-O Toy. No matter what event I go to, I try to always have one of these on my table because it draws people in and then they start sharing their Tupperware experience with the Shape-O Toy with me. I hear things like, oh, I played with that when I was a kid and now my children are playing with it, or grandmas will come by and say, my kids played with that 40 and 50 years ago, and now my grandchildren and great-grandchildren are playing with it. Or I'll hear things like, I had that when I was little, but I didn't even realize that they still made it, or that it was even made by Tupperware. It was introduced many years ago by Tupperware and has not changed since it was introduced. It still features 10 shapes around the outside of the ball, the handles that allow you to pull the ball apart to release the shapes, and the same colors, the primary colors of yellow, red, and blue. Many things about this have not changed, and kids have been enjoying it for generations and generations. And I love hearing those stories from those people at my events, because it really does prove to me that our products are quality products that last from generation to generation and that they withstand the test of time. And this is one of the pieces that has definitely done that, as we have sold probably millions of these all over the world since it was introduced. I also know that there are people who may not be familiar with the Shape-O Toy, or who may view it as just a simple shape sorter. And so I wanted to go over some of the key features and benefits of the toy so that you can see how it can be used from infancy all the way through the early elementary school years for your children. It is definitely a toy that grows with your child and has many uses throughout their life. And starting with infancy, as you can see, once all of the shapes are inside, it definitely has a rattle noise that children like to play with rattles. As they start sitting up, they can play with it as a ball when they're sitting independently. And then as they're starting to learn how to crawl, they push the ball around and they actually can learn how to crawl with the ball. Then as they start getting a little bit older and they start taking the shapes out and putting them into the shape, into the ball, they're developing all of the skills that are necessary to be able to do that. The hand-eye coordination that's required to put the shape in, and also the fine motor skills that are necessary to actually pick up the shape and then release the shape into the ball. Once children get a little bit older and they start learning numbers and start associating numbers with an actual count of an item, each shape has a number on one side. For example, this has the number 4, and on the opposite side it has the same number of raised dots. So there are 4 raised dots on that side. So that helps with number recognition and counting, so that they can associate 4 dots with the written numeral 4. And as they're learning the shapes around the ball, they know that this is a square, and a square has 4 sides, and the square will not fit into the pentagon hole. It will not fit into the star. The square will only fit into the square. And I like that the Shape-O Toy incorporates those simple shapes, such as a circle and a star and a square, but it also has more of the complex shapes, like this is a hexagon, and the pentagon, trapezoid, things like that. So even as children are going throughout their school years and they're learning more about those shapes, they can go back to this toy and use this toy as a way to review those shapes and the things that are associated with those shapes, such as angles, and they can measure these with the ruler and calculate area and perimeter and all sorts of things with the shapes. They can also use the shapes because they are designed with a raised design. They can use these to cut into things like Play-Doh, or you could make shaped cookies or like cookie dough, things like that. And they can actually put these on paper and then trace around them, so they're actually learning how to draw the shapes and things like that. It's a fun party game for teenagers and adults to see who can put all the shapes in the fastest. Have a relay race. You have a couple of these, have different teams doing that. We actually do it at some of our Tupperware parties, and it's really fun to see a group of grown women racing across the room to see which team can get all the shapes in the fastest. I love this product. I love that it is still available, and it's one of those classic pieces of Tupperware that everyone recognizes. And it was one of the very first toys that I gave to my nephew before he was even born. I gave it to his parents the Christmas before he was born, and he played with it when he was small. And now at 3.5 years old, he still plays with it, and his baby sister plays with it as well. It's one of those classic toys that stands the test of time, and it will probably be around as long as the company is around. And it's just a great piece to have, no matter if you buy it for your children or grandchildren, or if you buy them for Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, baby shower gifts, all sorts of things that you can use the Shape-O toy for. I hope you have learned some other uses for the Shape-O toy other than just a simple shape sorter. This can be purchased on my website, which is www.crystaldunn.com, and I will put links down in the description below. And if you have any questions about the Shape-O toy or any other Tupperware products, please contact me via the links on my website, and I'll be happy to answer those for you. And I hope that you have a great day. Thank you.